We finish off the show with a story from the future, where the role of attorneys could change from humans to artificial intelligence. That's right, a startup revealed that its first robot lawyer will go on a trial run in February. The concept was developed by Do Not Pay, a startup company that uses AI to provide legal advice. CEO Joshua Browder said the goal of the company was to save defendants money by replacing the physical lawyer, and in an upcoming case, their robo-lawyer will be helping an actual client fight a traffic ticket. The smartphone-based AI will listen to arguments in court, analyze them, and then instruct the defendant on a response. The defendant will then repeat only what their robo-advisor feeds them through headphones in court. Browder says that if they happen to lose the lawsuit, don't worry, the company has agreed to cover any fines associated with the case, and they're actually even taking it a step further, offering $1 million to anyone who argues a case in front of the United States Supreme Court, only saying what the robo-lawyer dictates. In addition to providing court-based legal assistance, the company promises their AI can help users, quote, fight corporations, beat bureaucracy, and sue anyone at the press of a button. Brian, you are Bard and SCOTUS. If we see you arguing a case with AirPods on, should we expect you're at work afterwards?
I actually just had to take off my AirPods now so I can answer this for myself. But I don't think any lawyer is going to be doing this. No one is going to sacrifice their bar license. It takes a lot to get to the SCOTUS bar, or any bar for that matter. And I think one of the justices, regardless of what side of the aisle they're on, will probably stop this. I don't think this is going to get past a traffic ticket in terms of use. I think there's too much on the line when you're talking about the Supreme Court or even losing one day of your liberty. Maybe this might work in traffic court, but I hope this doesn't go on past that.
Terry, other than the fact that robots are taking over and our whole world is destroyed, any problems with this?
And lots of problems. Actually, Deloitte says that by 2036, 100,000 legal jobs will be taken over by AI. So it is something we should all think about. But then again, who could present the way we're presenting here, Jesse? But the other issue is, this has not even been determined by the Supreme Court as to whether or not there's a constitutional right to a real lawyer. Using these AI intelligence lawyers, I don't think is going to help. Look, the pros are that you have unlimited research and you have unlimited intelligence, and that is a pro. But there are so many cons to this. What happens if the Wi-Fi goes down? What happens if the client doesn't actually repeat what the AI is telling them to say and just mistakes a little bit of what he has to say, not a lot of it? Who's going to argue that, they should be reimbursed because they said most of what was said, but not all of what was said? And then, you have the counsel on the other side who could be objecting to the fact that, look, you're being helped out by artificial intelligence and it's not fair. I should have artificial intelligence too. I just see so many problems with setting it up this way. I think at the end of the day, though, we are going to see it in some aspects of the legal profession. I just don't think they'll be able to make new arguments or equitable arguments. So there's some limitations there.
Let's hope that they, don't make AI anchors, because then I'm going to be out of a job, and it'll probably do a better job than I do. So let's hope for that. That doesn't happen. Well, let's see. We'll see what they'll have this conversation in 10 years. Brian, Terry, thanks so much.
They're struggling right now. Many are understaffed, and what employees they do have may feel overworked. Wait staff rushing from table to table to help serve you. But an Anna Maria restaurant came up with a solution and showed it to ABC Action News reporter Wendy Lane.
At Anna Maria Oyster Bar, business is thriving. But with a worker shortage, food needs help arriving. And that's where Pearl comes in.
The best part of an oyster is a pearl, right? So now we have Pearl.
Pearl is a robot that delivers food from the kitchen to the tables.
Pearl works 7 days a week. She never needs a day off. She works doubles, and she works for about $2.50 an hour.
Restaurant owner John Horn says with Pearl running food, wait staff can continue waiting on tables, and they don't have to spend time running back and forth to the kitchen of the large restaurant, helping them work more efficiently.
They can stay in the station the whole time. They can be with their guests. Maybe take more tables.
When Pearl arrives, the waiter removes the food from the robot and places it on the table. Then she heads back to the kitchen to get more.
We absolutely are striving to help solve the labor crisis. And if we can do it with robotics, we're not replacing people. We're just helping them do their job easier.
She's especially helpful to the bartenders so they don't have to leave the bar. And the people seem to love her.
Oh, she's so cute. I think she needs more like some bling or something. You know, maybe even blinking lights.
Pearl is programmed to know the placement of all the tables in the restaurant, but she's still in beta testing and has a few kinks to work out, like being stable enough to carry drinks. But for now, she's earning her keep.
I mean, people just love it. They just light up when they see Pearl coming to the table.
Happy birthday.
In Bradenton, Wendy Lane, ABC Action News.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, the name of the Heavenly Father, meaning He is, Bahashem, meaning in the name, Yahweh Shai, meaning He is our salvation, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man. And as you can see from the two clips that I played, you know, from the upper echelon down to the lowly, meek, and insignificant, you know, there's no hiding from the AI, okay? Once this is taking place, you know, there is not going to be any work from the top to the bottom, okay, and everything in between. You know, you're not going to be safe whether you have a job as a lawyer, a doctor, you know, a musician, an artist, whatever. And you're not going to be safe even if you are down at the bottom, you know, as a cashier, a waitress, a factory worker, or a warehouse worker, you know, whatever. You're not going to be safe because your job can and will be taken right from up under you by this AI. Okay? And you seen in the first video, you know, the lawyer, the AI lawyer, who, you know, could defend you, and better yet, you know, you could defend your own self with the AI telling you what to say and how to defend yourself in a court of law. Okay? And you have the attorneys wishing, or I shouldn't say wishing, but saying how the AI, which is artificial intelligence, won't be bright enough to actually, you know, hold a bar or to pass the bar, which they don't understand. AI has all that information already programmed into it. So when a judge says, do you defend yourself? You know, you can say, yeah, because you have that AI technology. If not now, then whenever they implement that mark inside your head, your forehead. Okay? And going to the waitress video, you can see how something like that can be implemented with the mark in your hand or in your forehead, because now the waitress, which is that robot, the AI, it could what? It could take the food to your table and be synced up with you in your mark in your hand to figure out where you at so that they can come and deliver your food. And as the guy said, you know, they don't have to worry about waitresses calling off. This waitress AI robot can work 7 days a week, take no times off, and, you know, work for less than $2 an hour. Okay? For waitresses and waiters, those $2 an hour don't mean nothing, but the tips is where, you know, help on the back end. So with this AI waitress robot, you know, they're going to take those tips away. So then what are you going to do for the income that you're losing to the AI? Well, you're going to have to go down to Egypt for help and receive that mark in your right hand or in your forehead to help make up for the money that you're losing to this AI robot. Okay? So you could very much well see a scenario like this playing out. And this is Isaiah, the 19th chapter, the 14th verse. And it says, Yahweh have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Okay? So Yahweh's putting this spirit on these devils to come up with this technology and to bring forth this ideas and, you know, just put this out in the open that, hey, you can very much well see the work industry take a hit where they no longer have to hire real life people and instead hire robots and AI, therefore causing the real life people that depend on substances that you can't get outside of whatever that they provide you. Speaking of Egypt, America, this system, you know, you can't do it on your own because most of the people in America and in general are consumers, rather than producers. Okay, this economy is built on consuming. Okay, and once you take away its foundation, then there's nothing left it's going to stand on. So the people here, once they lose their jobs, they're going to be going all out crazy, you know, and which is going to cause chaos, and which is going to lead to mayhem. And it's going to be a dog eat dog type of world when that happens. You know, everybody's scratching and surviving for, you know, the few little bits of, you know, crumbs that's left on the table, wherever they can find a job, from the top all the way down to the bottom. Okay. And that's why they're going to be clamoring for that device, for that solution when they roll it out. So this is verse 15. It says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. Okay. Speaking of America, it says, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So from the top to the bottom, there ain't going to be no work to find, because Yahweh has what? Mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. Okay, and this is all to bring about his prophecies. Okay, you can't run from the mark. It's going to be implemented. Okay, there's nothing you can do to offset prophecy. So yeah, you can see very much well the scenario that leads to this. Okay, and the lady on the first clip said by 2036, but who's to say that we have that much time left? These things could be right around the corner, at the doorstep, at the front door, speeding up. Okay, there's no sector in the economy that you're safe from, that you're not going to be able to be replaced by artificial intelligent robot. Okay? And they already got universal basic income, you know, on the table, and trying out and doing these test runs in different cities. So what? People are going to be clamoring to get that extra, you know, $2,000 or $3,000 a month so they can pay their bills. All right? So they probably going to let things get a little bit worse before they roll out and bring out that mark, because they got to get order out of chaos so they can control the outcome. So let the economy crash. Let it be difficult to find jobs, and then we can have the solution. When all hell and everything else fails, they're going to bring out that solution, that mark. Okay? It's going to be the game changer for them. And what does this say in Isaiah the 31st chapter? Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. Right, because once you take that mark and you receive that mark in your right hand or in your forehead, that's it for you. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Okay? So it's going to be, you know, for lack of better terms, it's going to be hell for you once you go down to Egypt and you receive that mark in your right hand and your forehead, just so that you can, you know, participate in this man's kingdom. You know, you're going to have a price to pay for that, you know, and it's going to be the lake of fire here in America, where from sea to shining sea, coast to coast, this whole landmass is going to be, you know, a lake of fire via by the way of those ICBM missiles. Okay? So this is the time that you need to get together and take advantage of and seek Yahweh while he may be found. Because once he remove his word, the famine of the word, once that hit, you're going to pretty much be left to defend and go on what you were able to obtain through this period of mercy and grace. And this is Isaiah 55:6. And it says, seek ye Yahweh while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Right? Because once he removed the word and you can't get this truth and you left to defend for yourself, that's going to be it for you. This is Amos 8:11. And it reads, behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. So it's going to come a time where you're not going to be able to get this, and you're going to be able to figure out what's going on. And you're going to be right where Esau, Edom wants you at. Okay? Right for the picking. Taking whatever it is that he's going to give to you for the solution, the answer to the problems that's going on in society. And we know what that's going to be, pursuant to Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th verse, on down to 18. And woe to them that take that. Woe to them that go down to Egypt and receive that help. Okay? And you pretty much are going to be led, to that destruction because you didn't seek Yahweh while you had a chance. You went on about your daily life thinking that nothing was going to happen and you were just going to ride it out to the end and don't have to worry about any kind of consequences or repercussions. And you thought you just, go skate. You thought you would go unscathed. So you took the mark and now you got to pay for it. This is Revelation 4:10. And it reads, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Let's jump up a verse in verse 9 so we can get that context. And it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire, that's those missiles, and brimstone, in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. Right, because they're going to see it all happening and unfolding, right there in the presence, because along with the elect, they're going to be in the chariots seeing everything take place down here on this earth. Okay? So that's why it's imperative that you know exactly what's going on and what time we in. So you don't slip up and make that mistake and go down to Egypt for that help. Because you see that the jobs are scarce. You can't find anything, to pay your bills with. Now you got pressure from your family, from your spouse, just in general, you didn't think that this would happen. And now you in that situation where now you got to rely on what you've put, in the bank per se. You got to rely on that faith. Okay? And if you don't take this time to build up that faith, then you're not going to have anything to rely on once that time, comes to pass, comes to fruition. This is Revelation 3 in verse 10. And it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So the time you have right now is the time that you need to be, working on keeping the patience, keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, and judgments to the best of your abilities, along with the faith in Yahushua. So when that time comes, you'll have that hedge. Nahum 1:7. That what? You're going to be taken care of, Isaiah 65:13, in the times of calamity. You're going to be well taken care of. You're going to find through Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua food to eat, drink to drink, and you're going to be taken care of because you kept the patience when you had the time, and you seek after Yahweh while there was time to be seek. Okay, so when Egypt is crashed and the economy fails and there's no jobs to be found because the AI, these robots, has taken over, and you have to go down to Egypt for that aid, that assistance, that universal basic income, you're going to be well taken care of. You're not going to have to go down to Egypt. Okay? So yeah, seek Yahweh while he may be found, because once that time comes when he removes the truth and removes the word from being teach and preach, then you're gonna be left to stand on what you were able to accumulate through that time, through that grace. Okay? So this is 1 Peter 5:8. We're gonna close out. And it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And if you don't take this time and get yourself together and repent and turn from your ways and come into this truth and, continually to fight day in and day out, you're going to be left to your own devices. Okay? And you're going to be easy prey for this devil, this roaring lion, to devour. All right? So I pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We almost home. Shalom.